All right, we are live. Looks like we got a couple people on. Awesome. Thank you for showing on. I know it's like super last minute. I just sent it out to like 2 minutes ago to everyone that I'm going to be going live. We will have the replay hosted the same link. This is really just kind of privately sent out just to our club families. Give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind, just so I know you can hear me, or feel free to type in the chat. You can always type in questions or comments as well into the chat. Just letting me know that you can hear me okay. And I'm going to get started. Just a short video today that I think may be helpful with a lot of conversations I have with players and families and parents, and how to think about setting yourself or your child up for the most long-term success. Because hopefully, if you're in the junior reign club, you have a number of things. Number one, you love hockey. Number two, you have a big ambition and big dreams and goals. And you're committed to that over the long term. Awesome. Thank you, Tom, that you can hear me. Great. So again, achieving anything big, a big vision or big goals, takes a long-term commitment and a long-term plan. It's nothing great can be built or achieved overnight. And so it's understanding that path and creating an actual plan and a long-term goal. And that's how our whole organization is built. We've learned a lot. We've come a long way. There's a tremendous amount we need to improve, and we are committed to improving and raising the standard of. And that's one thing you'll have a commitment from me on, is continuing to make those adjustments and changes and evolve our organization towards the organization that you all deserve it to be, to help your player achieve their biggest and highest goals. And that's what we're working hard at every day. And we also need your help. We need your commitment. We need your dedication, and we need your understanding. We need to help teach and communicate. It's on me to communicate that vision to all of you, so that you can be a part of that, plan, that process, and we can do it together. Because I certainly can't do it by myself, and our coaches can't do it by themselves, and we need everyone rowing in the same direction and using the same language and on the same page towards that ultimate goal of achieving greatness and achieving a championship level organization, and each individual's biggest goals and ambition. And that comes with a long-term commitment and approach. It does not come with jumping around and chasing things that are not important long-term for something that seems urgent right now. Like being on the winning team, even though we want to have the winning championship team in every organization, being on the winning team this year is not a goal, right? That is a preference based on comparison or fear or something else. That can be a result. That can be a byproduct. It's not a goal, right? A goal is playing college hockey, becoming great at achieving things, developing character and life lessons, making it to the NHL, playing for Team USA. Those are goals that ultimately our program, we want to help serve. And that may not, and we know that not every player is going to go on to the NHL, but if they can learn if they can learn how to strive to be great and achieve goals and achieve thanks guys, go Reign, go awesome, and achieve great things and grow and work through things, then we're doing our job. And again, you don't get that from chasing short-term things, right? Or running from conflict, or when things get hard, running away from that. It comes with a long-term commitment and dedication towards a common purpose and a goal. So I cannot share my screen yet because I haven't. I'm going to start using a software to deliver these lives, where I can share my screen. I can show some diagrams. This is just for you guys. It's private. It's not official production and stuff. It's just kind of for our family here. So I'm just doing them rough. I literally chicken scratched out this thing here. I'll show you guys. This is a pyramid that I drew up to explain these concepts, and I'll make these into more polished things as we share them kind of with the world. This is just privately for you guys, though, so I'm sharing with you my thoughts on how to explain these things. I get comments and questions from parents and players all the time. Is, what should I be doing? Should we be doing this? Should we be doing that? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? I saw this thing on TV. I saw this other coach from this other club doing this. I heard that these people are going here, they're going there, they're doing this stuff, and it's more and chasing all these things. And so I drew out this pyramid to kind of explain the thinking and the thoughts here. And so I just want you to just have it. You don't have to be able to read my handwriting because it's terrible, but I want you to understand this pyramid. There's 5 levels of this pyramid. And for those of you who think back to your school days, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's 5 hierarchy of needs, starting with, with shelter and basic needs, and that to self-actualization. So I want you to think about this as far as the top level being, being actualized and achieving those biggest goals. But there's foundations that there's steps and foundations that need to be in place. Okay. And oftentimes what happens is when people get caught up in comparison or status, or being on the best team, or being on the first line, or being a top scorer, or how my social media posts, or these types of things that ultimately and then cause behavior to, for example, shortcut things, chase around, pull your kid out of environments into the next environment, cause drama on the team, cause drama between friends and teammates because someone wants the goals and assists credit, or they want the C on their jersey, or they want the top line, or they want the coach to favor them, or all these short-term things, okay, towards getting to something that ultimately should be a byproduct. Getting named the captain is a byproduct of behavior. It's a byproduct of character. It's a byproduct of dedication, commitment. Scoring more goals is also a byproduct of those things. Winning championships is also a byproduct of those things. It's not the result that we chase. It's the result. It's the result of the byproduct of behavior and doing the things of the foundation. And too many people get caught up in this stuff. And then what people say in the stands. Number one, ask yourself who the people that you want to take advice from. Are they someone that's either done it themselves or helped other people get there and achieve those goals? If they're not, if there's someone just, spouting off about, something else in the stands, and they have no track record and no evidence of actually being able to do that and knowing how to help your child achieve their goals, right? Actually, whatever those, and again, it depends. What are your goals for your child? And then who are the people that know how to do that and have done that and can help you get there? And then being very careful who you take advice from, right? It's like if you don't necessarily want to take financial advice from just someone sitting beside someone at the bus stop and they tell you what to do with your life savings or what to do with your retirement, right? You want to talk to trusted professionals who know what they're doing with that. So it's the same thing with your kids' goals, either in sports or in school or anywhere else. And for some reason in youth sports, there are a lot of people. Just like the armchair quarterback who sits on their couch and tells the quarterback that he should have done this, or the Bill Belichick that they should have done that as a coach, or the press conference after the NHL game. A lot of people have different opinions, and that's fine. But you have to decide who you're going to take advice from towards your long-term your goals. So the point is, I'm way off topic here, but the point is that this pyramid. Okay, so think of 5 levels of the pyramid, and at the bottom, what most people talk about. A lot of people talk about and hear parents and kids talking about a lot is things that are on the top, the very top. This is 1% of the whole experience. And I just wrote it as complicated stuff. Complicated stuff is what is sexy. It's what everyone wants to talk about. It's the, the really high level strategy of positional play schemes, that type of stuff. It's the complicated training techniques with a parachute behind you, all kinds of stuff. It's none of that is bad. That's great. That's important. But there's a point of marginal gains, right? That is the point. That's the 90 people that are implementing, and we know how we have coaches that have played professionally and played collegiately. We have advisors that are, myself. I participate in the USA Hockey National player development camps of helping select players to move on to Team USA at the highest levels and things. We are connected into that world of complicated stuff. We can get you the answers of any of those things at the highest levels of complicated stuff. However, it is not for a high percentage of people in youth hockey. It is the last thing. It is the thing when 99% of everything else is already in place and humming at a high level, and your behavior is consistently delivering on those other foundational things, that now you can focus on the complicated stuff, right? LeBron James is doing a hyperbaric chamber and other kinds of stuff like that. The guy at the YMCA playing in the men's league gym, if he does the hyperbaric chamber and stuff like that, he still sucks when he goes out and plays men's league at a YMCA, right? That's complicated stuff that when you're already at a certain level takes, you're trying to get that 0.3% advantage over the next player that are all at this elite levels. And too many folks at the 8 UB, 10 UB, even 14 AAA, whatever it is, levels are focused on complicated stuff that is like highest level, or watching the NHL games or whatever it is, or the other coach, at another program who finished playing pro and doesn't understand youth and child development. And I did this 20 years ago as a coach. When I finished playing college hockey, I was coaching a 10B and a Pee Wee A team, Pee Wee AA team, and I was trying to teach them complicated strategies and complicated training concepts and things like that. And it's diminishing returns. And if you don't have those foundational things, it is not only useless, it can be counterproductive and actually hurt the foundation. So the actual foundation of this is the bottom, the lowest level, the bottom level, the foundation that has to be in place, and nothing else matters. Is I labeled it mindset/heart set, mindset and heart set, and that is ultimately the things that I talked about. If a player, the number one thing that the player has to have is a passion and a love for the game. That's the heart set, and then the mindset, the ambition to be great. If they do not have that foundation, everything else is going uphill, and it's useless. Okay, private lessons, all this stuff, watching game film. If they don't have a passion for the sport and they don't have an ambition to be great, the other stuff does not matter. So again, if you have a coach who is coaching a youth hockey team and he is not inspiring those players, or a program is not giving them an experience where they can grow in their love for the game and their ambition in the game to be great, all that other stuff, the strategy and the techniques and the private lessons, it doesn't matter. It's actually maybe going to make them hate the sport more or turn them off more. So number one, that foundation can never be compromised. The next thing is the volume. Okay, volume of training. If you have a passion and a love for the sport and you have an ambition to be great, and you go to practice once a week and that's it, twice a week and that's it, or even at many ages, 3 times a week and that's it. You don't go to off ice. You don't do athletic strength training and development. You don't do those other things. You don't have the volume. I mean, as you get older, 14 plus especially, 4, 5, 6 ice times a week as you commit to being a hockey player. If you don't have the volume, the other stuff doesn't matter. Again, doing private edge work or whatever, if you can't even go to your minimum amount of team practices at off ice and things like that, and doing some shooting pucks and stick handling stuff at home, if you're not getting the volume required, that other stuff doesn't matter. It's useless. Why are we focused on complicated stuff if we can't even commit to the bare minimum of the foundational things? So once you have the mindset and heart set foundation, a passion for the sport, an ambition to be great, you have the volume. You're getting enough volume because hockey is a unique sport. It's not just the regular athleticism, run, jump, throw. There's a specialty piece of skills of it that requires a certain amount of volume, and that's this season, but it's also over time. Or there's a certain amount of volume that's needed for 8U, at 10U, at 12U. If you skip those steps, if you don't get the volume and you try to start at 14U, for example, the amount of work to catch up at 14U, if you haven't had the volume, that's why I see kids all the time, they stay in-house. They say, well, we're not quite ready for club. My kid loves hockey, wants to be in the NHL one day, but we're not ready for club yet. So we'll play in the house and practice once a week for 3 more years. Now they're 13, and it's awful difficult to catch up because they haven't had the volume necessary as a foundation first. And then the next one after volume is intensity. So intensity. So what are you doing in that volume? What is your activity rate in that volume? Of like, are you getting the reps? Are you getting the skills and the decision reps? And that's the other reason why we practice the way we do. It's not standing around and learn where to stand in the game, because we're going to practice a strategy to win the game on the weekend, because the wingers need to stand on the boards and defensemen need to stand in front of the net. And we're going to take an hour of practice time doing that, because the intensity is not enough. If we're talking about the goal of becoming elite and becoming great, not the goal of we're going to implement a defensive zone strategy to beat the Moose, OC Hockey, Ducks, blah, 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 whatever it is, X team this weekend, we're going to create these foundational pillars, these foundational pyramids of success, mindset, heart set, volume, intensity, activity rates, right? Doing the right things, having good coaching at those levels. These are the next steps. And so that's why it depends what age group and which level you're at. the developing that passion and that mindset, heart set are incredibly even more important at the 8U level, the 10U level. That foundation is built, and now that kid loves hockey and dreams of being hockey. Now you can start to increase the volume. You can start to increase the intensity at those older and higher levels, because that stuff is developed. That foundation is created, and now you can go deeper with those other things. What we see is the mistake is we see at 10U, for example, people want to focus on even the intensity of it, and now you have a kid that doesn't like hockey. It's not fun, or they don't have an ambition anymore. They're being driven by their parents rather than their own heart set, and now it's counterproductive. It actually is damaging. So you cannot compromise these steps and these levels. After intensity comes focus. Okay, then it's focus. Then it's how do we refine? How do we? I have the mindset and heart set in place. The volume is right. We have enough volume. It's based on your age group. How many times per week should they be on the ice? How many times per week should they be doing athletic training? We have this all documented. It's different than 8U. It's different than 10U. It's different at 12U. It's different at 14U. The intensity is also different. At 8U, speed 1, the different windows of trainability are open to you. So you have speed 1 at 8U, and you have speed 2 as you get older. So short burst acceleration at younger ages, and then long stamina and things at older ages. That intensity is different. And then focus. Okay, now you have all these things in place: mindset, heart set, volume, intensity, focus. Now it's like, what do we have to perfect in their skating stride? What do we have to perfect in their shooting technique? What do we have to perfect in their edges? Do they need a skating coach? And this can happen at 8U. This can happen at 16 AAA. But if you don't have the mindset, heart set, the volume, you're not coming to practice, just your team practice as a baseline at a certain level, and you're not getting activity rates, why are you doing private lessons? Why are you having a private power skating coach? Those other things are in place. Then we add that takes it to the next level, and now you're all the way towards becoming great. And then complicated stuff. Okay, so that's when are we on a specific nutrition program? Are we learning high-level strategies and techniques? Do we have a college advisor? Okay, do we have some of these things in place? Do we have a private strength training plan? Do we have a really customized recovery supplements? These things. And again, this can happen at it doesn't mean you have to wait till you're 18 AAA to implement these, but the mistake we see is implementing complicated stuff when you don't even have the foundation in place, or you're not building that first. Build the foundation steps until you can consistently execute the behavior at each level of those levels of the pyramid. Then you can take the next step. Again, I'm just sharing from experience. Towards having success. And what you don't want to do is you're focused on complicated stuff. You're spending a lot of money and a lot of extra time and effort pushing it against something and creating actually negative results. Maybe the kid is not enjoying the sport, or you're not getting the results because you don't have the foundation in place, and now you're creating frustration and regret and guilt and shame and all those other things, and wasted money, and oh my God, all this stuff, all this anxiety and chasing around different clubs and running from place to place and trying to chase the shiny object or the result, rather than the result being the byproduct. And now the experience for the whole family and the kid itself is negative, and it actually drives the family apart, and it drives a wedge between the kid and the parent, because of these priorities not being understood and being in place first. So it's easy to get caught up, and sorry if I'm being direct and blunt, but this is private for our junior families, and I love you guys, and I want you guys to be successful, and I want you to get the most out of our program and achieve your biggest goals and dreams. And it's important for me to communicate based on experience. Families we worked with, being a player myself, and working with hockey at the highest levels of USA Hockey, and even at the world levels. To communicate kind of these pillars of success and this foundational pyramid of success. And we can certainly, our program is in position to deliver on that complicated stuff. We have if we don't know the answers or the people, we can connect you with those that do. And it depends. It's a matter of priorities, and focus on it at the right time, not just the right things at the right time in the right moments executed, not just and executed towards a strategic plan, towards a long-term vision and a goal. So want to share that with you guys. I didn't prepare that off the cusp, off the top of my head, as you can tell from my my diagram here that I literally just drew up, and wanted to share. I had this on my heart. Want to share with you guys. Let me know in the comments and things what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down if you don't like what I'm saying here, and feel free to email me your questions or comments as well. And I'll be doing more of these lives for you guys, sharing some of the things that I've learned and the comments and questions that I get. And hopefully, hope to see you guys all at the rink. Feel free to grab me at the rink with your questions and things as well. We just launched our spring programs, and our next steps is too. So if you have questions on that stuff, more stuff coming out there on ways for you to continue to. We'll be rolling out lots of exciting, I think, announcements and evolutions to our program around that ecosystem that I did a video a few lives ago about our ecosystem of how it's built to help you achieve those goals and to use all the resources, all the avenues that our there's my daughter Becker, all that our organization taking advantage of all those things that we've built around it to really accelerate and collapse time towards your goals from the resources and the different parts of the ecosystem we've created, whether it's junior hockey, training facilities, tournament teams, all those kinds of things, those pieces of it. So more on that soon, and just reach out. Let me know your comments and questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next live video. Thanks so much, guys, for all your comments and your thumbs ups and your hearts and your emojis. So I really appreciate you guys jumping on last minute. So thank you. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. Harper.